This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
White trash fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. Cat drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
We're gonna put on a show. Hello. Welcome to Bois. King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty.
Yes, sir.
We did a live show last night.
We did do a live show.
We did.
Artie was there.
Halloween.
Artie was there, yeah.
Artie was there. This little guy was not there. This little pumpkin.
Featuring this hat. This hat was also in that
Hat
episode.
was there.
The hat was there.
Featuring these two humans. They were
Yeah,
there.
we were there. I had my shoes on,
Might
too.
have been wearing the same underwear. I'm not sure.
I wasn't wearing socks.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't wearing socks yesterday.
It was good though. I mean, we did fine.
I
almost
think
an hour.
that we did a great show. I think that there's more live stuff in the future for us for sure. I really enjoy that format, being in front of people and sitting on a stage and speaking.
Let me ask this to our audience
Yeah.
real quick, okay?
Yeah,
And
go for
this
it.
is for people that are in the chat and people who will listen to this later or whatever. If we did a live show and it was available online, say it's $5, would you watch that? Would you pay for that? Just asking. Because I'm tired of waiting for my hometown to show up to live events. I know you guys will show up.
Yeah.
I don't think my hometown's going to show up. They're
Yeah,
not
that's,
very cool about stuff.
There,
around here.
it's a really hard area that we live in for art, for
It is.
for the pursuit of artistic things,
Hard
whether
to use
it
a
be
microphone, too.
music that's not country or gospel Christian music,
Yeah.
podcasts that aren't religious based podcasts. It's a
But just
really
podcasts in general.
it's really a
honestly,
struggling area, and
like-
it's sad because it's such a great geographically located place for this kind of stuff. We're like an hour from Dallas, an hour from Austin, two of the big
Yeah.
media centers in Texas, and it's just this stuff struggles.
Right. Well, you know, the thing is, like, we've done live shows with like Bloody Happy Hour and a couple other shows, and they do fine. You know, they bring
Yeah.
I don't know, 100 people, 150 maybe total. But like last night, there was hardly anybody there. There were more of you guys online, I think, than there were in the audience.
There was 12
So,
online. I think there was 6
Yeah.
in the audience.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and I think that maybe if we just did a big deal online, maybe that would be worth it to you guys. You know, I don't know. But anyway, just let us know how you feel about that.
It would be special though. It wouldn't be if we were going
No,
to charge you
what-
$5. We would come up with something more
It wouldn't
than
be
just
this.
what we were doing.
It wouldn't be
yeah.
this regular show here. It would be maybe get a band, you know, things like that. And we'd probably do it over at Texas Music Cafe. So we've got a brand new stage, brand new set. It would be a live event.
It would be a live event, but there would
Yeah.
also be a option for a physical audience if we do it at Texas Music Cafe,
Mm.
right? So that
Maybe.
so I think it could be a hybridized thing. So even if there is 2 or 3 people in the audience, we still have our online presence thing.
Just
I don't
tired
know. Either
waiting
way,
Tired of
yeah.
waiting for the city to show up. All right, here we go, guys. King of the Hell, Season 6, Episode 20, or the year of our Lord 6, ABE 17, Dang Old Love.
dang.
Originally, episode aired May 5th, 2002.
Yep.
That is one day after my birthday and one day before my daughter's birthday.
Okay.
Boomhauer sleeps with a richer woman and begins to feel more than just lust for her, provoking the frustration of Bill. So, this one's a little weird for me. Like, on the surface, this seems like a Boomhauer episode.
Yeah.
It is not. This is really a Bill episode.
Yeah, it's really a Bill episode.
Yeah,
which
it
is
may be all
it doesn't
about.
seem that way at the start, but
Yeah, no, this is really a Bill episode because in the way I gauge that is by this script. There are like 2 full pages of Bill dialogue in this thing.
Yeah,
like he's featured heavily.
I got an Artie.
Yeah, go
Artie
for it,
thing
Artie.
here real quick. Let's see. So the title is actually a callback to I'm with Cupid, season 6, episode 6 from early this season.
Okay.
Which is when Hank asked Boomhauer to show Bobby how to pick up women. Bobby learned that Boomhauer's secret was just to ask out every woman to play the odds to get laid.
It's the one where they were in the department store.
Yeah.
The shoe store.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he asked Bobby.
Gotcha.
Bobby asked Boomhauer.
That one made you feel sad for Boomhauer.
Yeah.
honestly.
He said, "How is this
that
going to
was
help me
rough.
find love?" And he goes, "Dang on love."
Dang on love.
Love? Yeah. So
All right.
we got Artie put a little caveat. I put this in my season 6, episode 6 notes, and Rusty read them on air. Having already seen the full series many times, I knew to look for it. Now you see that I do know my shit. Yeah, with a wink.
There was no doubt about
with
that.
a winking
Artie. We knew you
emoji.
knew your shit, man.
Yeah, we got you. I'm gonna run the voices down real fast if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
knock
yeah.
that out so I don't have
Go
to do
for
it again.
Go for it.
Ice Cream Lady is Brittany Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Marlene is Laura Linney. I don't know who that is. Linney.
Yeah, I know Laura Linney.
I'm not sure who that is. Steven is voiced by Stephen Root, and Meemaw is actually voiced by Mike Judge. She's seen only one other time, and that was the wedding scene, which was supposed to be the final episode.
Right.
Which is it has most characters in that scene.
Dang old Boomhauer, didn't think you get married.
And then the last one to just get all the beginning facts out the way.
Yeah.
There's multiple songs in this. The songs that are in this episode is Thank You by Dido, Dixie Chicken by Little Feat, and the song when he drives away from Marlene's house is Barracuda by the Hearts.
Yeah. I wrote that down in my
Your
in my
notes?
little notey notes here about the Barracuda thing. I was looking up Laura Linney. I know the name, but I couldn't get my phone to respond.
Oh, I got you.
All right, no bell, no yell. We are coming up on a bell and a yell, though.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Because I
I
believe
got you for Laura Linney. Laura Linney is she was in The Big C, Ozark, The Truman Show.
Ozark.
She was in The Truman Show.
It.
Primal
Ozark.
Fear, The Miracle Club.
Yeah. Ozark's a great show until the last season.
She was actually or is married to Liam Neeson.
Oh.
And she gave birth at 49
To Liam
years
Neeson?
old. No, not to
Oh.
Liam Neeson. She gave birth at 49, though.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that thing still worked at 49.
Oh, sure it does. Sure it does. That's
I didn't know they could still. I didn't know that was like. I don't know what I wonder what that is. What the oldest age somebody was to have
84.
a child. 84.
I don't know. I'm just
Oh,
guessing.
okay. I was like, whoa.
I'm just guessing. Yeah. All right. So we start this sucker with a overview of Arlen. That beautiful, that panning overview that we sometimes see of
That's
Arlen.
that Wes Archer beauty he puts on it.
And then we fade into Hank and Peggy's bedroom. You guys got to excuse me. I am a little off today. I don't know what it is. Sinus stuff. It's the changing of the temperatures and all that stuff. But just letting you know, if I'm a little sluggish, that's why. Things might get a little weird towards the end. We go into Hank and Peggy's bedroom. They're still asleep. The weird thing is Hank is hugging Lady Bird. Like, it's Lady Bird, then Hank, then Peggy. They're all, like, spooning each other.
Yeah.
And then we go out to see Bill out in the alley popping a beer open at 6 a.m. in the morning.
6 a.m. cold beer.
What a nice guy. And then
I like his monologue, too, here in a little bit.
Yes.
The Big Bill monologue.
Paperboy rides by and, hey, kid, you want to hang out in the alley until my friends get up? Kid says, I'm working, and just keeps going. He's going, we then go over and we see the ice cream truck over at Boomhauer's. And we go inside and see that the ice cream lady is in bed with Boomhauer.
Yep.
So anyway, Bill sees a lady jogger coming down the alley. Gets very excited at the fact that there is another woman in the world. He sees her, She goes by. She kind of nods at him. He drops his beer. He gets so excited. He runs over to Hank's house. Hank, Peggy, Bobby, I just met a woman. They don't answer. He runs over to Dale's. Dale, Nancy, Joseph, I've met a woman who will bear my children. Is this a good school district? And then he runs over to Boomhauer's, runs into the ice cream truck because he's so excited. He's over there saying, Boomhauer, there's a dead wolf on your lawn. No, I'm lying. I met a woman.
Dead wolf?
And then we go inside, and again, Boomhauer rolls over. He sees the woman looking at him. He goes, whoa, yo, man, you still here? She goes, oh, I thought I'd make you breakfast. He goes, no. I got old hang gliding lesson, man. I'm going to teach this old blind guy. I'm going to talk about Special Olympics, too, man. Throws her shirt at her. So we already see that Boomhauer, and we knew this. I mean, Boomhauer's a ladies' man. He's just killing them one at a time kind of thing, putting notches in his belt, all that stuff.
He's definitely been doing that for a while.
Yeah. Then we see Bobby.
He puts off that. Just when you look at his character, you just don't think of his character as being anything but a ladies' man.
Hard to see Boomhauer in those tiger striped little tiny underpants of his and not think that he thinks a lot of himself in that area.
Yeah.
We go over to the Hills house. Bobby is getting up. He's still a little blurry-eyed because he just got out of bed. He's pouring himself coffee, which I think is weird also for Bobby to just like start the morning with a cup of coffee.
It could be weird. I used to drink coffee when I was real young because in England, obviously where I'm from, it's cold. So when you're a little kid, they give you hot
England is cold
drinks.
or the coffee's cold?
The England's cold. They give you warm drinks. So as a kid, I got to drink coffee and hot teas and stuff. My grandma would make me Earl Grey tea.
Yeah.
Which is
that where your name came from?
The gamer tag, Earl Grey. Yeah. That's where that came from. It's one of my favorite teas to drink for sure.
So Bobby,
what's your favorite tea, Mike?
My favorite tea?
Do you have like a hot tea?
I like iced tea. I don't really drink hot tea.
Don't drink hot tea?
No, every once in a while. My throat.
It's great for sinuses. Like right now with your sinuses,
like falling out.
Like a lemon tea with some honey. Oh, it'd clear you right up.
No, it won't.
Maybe some whiskey.
No, not doing that. He pours some coffee. He sees the ice cream truck in the alley, gets very, very excited, runs into Hank and Peggy's bedroom, and he goes, Mom, Dad, the ice cream lady's here. I need $1.50 quick. And he's going through like Hank's pants and stuff, and they're just now waking up. He has just woken them up. He goes, Bobby, I don't think Mrs. Dippycone lady is on duty. Her and Mr. Boomhauer are dating. He goes, oh, even better. She'll be here all the time. I can get to know her on a personal level. Maybe she'll let me do a ride along. And then he runs out. He's so excited.
A ride along?
Do a ride along in the ice cream truck.
Like it's a cop thing or something?
Yeah.
Like the cop ride along?
Peggy says, why can't Boomhauer date someone smart for once, like a congresswoman, so I could get my law passed? First, we've heard of Peggy's law, but I don't know. Does that come up later?
I don't know.
Artie, does that come up later?
Yeah,
is there a Peggy's law, or is that just a one-off? All right, now we're in the alley. All four of them are there. And Bill is regaling the boys with a tale of this wonderful lady jogger that's going to be his future Mrs. Bill. He goes, then she nodded like this, and she smiled like this, and she jogged like this. And he's just sloshing his beer around because he's fake jogging in place. And he goes, it was magic.
Which is kind of creepy if you're watching people jog and you think that a nod and a smile from a jog is
There's nothing not creepy about Bill.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Yikes.
Boomhauer said, man, give it God dang old rest, man. You talking about going on just yak, blah, 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 jogging and blah, blah. And Dale says, yeah, why should we have to listen to Bill go on about some non-existent she-jogger that doesn't even exist? Bill says, what's that supposed to mean? Hank, well, let's face it, we've been down the imaginary friend road before. Those were guys you claimed to play soccer with, Larry and Wayne. Bill says, Larry and Wayne may have been imaginary, but they were a lot more supportive than you. And then Dale says, you didn't hear what they were saying behind your back. All right, we go into the Hill kitchen. We got Peggy, Bobby, and Bill comes in. Just lets himself in that back door. That's just what's amazing.
Most often he does that, and that's not a guy that I would just want walking into my house.
Oh, God, no. He goes, Peggy, can I borrow a coffee cup? I need a second mug because I got a lady friend now. Peggy goes, oh, lady friend, Bill, that is so wonderful. And she starts clean. She's so condescending. She's cleaning out these make-believe coffee mugs. Like, oh, here you go, Bill. Like handing him a big make-believe one. She goes, oh, no, wait, that one's dirty. She gets another one and kind of cleans it out and then hands him a fake mug. He grabs Bobby's mug and goes, give it to me. He just tosses the coffee on the floor and runs out because he's got 2 coffee mugs now. We're in the alley with all 4 of them. And this is a little bit later, I'm assuming, because Bill says, guess who had coffee with his special lady this morning? Dale says, coffee stains on your shirt are a nice touch, but Bill, we're still not buying it. He goes, I knew you guys wouldn't believe me. That's why I taped her. So he gets out his VHS
That's
recorder.
even worse.
Yeah.
It's getting even worse. He's devolving even further.
He's playing this for him, and he goes, I brought coffee for the two of us. You see him and the jogger. She's still jogging. He's jogging, but the coffee's going all over the place, going all over his shirt and everything. He goes, I brought coffee for the two of us. She goes, no thanks. He goes, if you're worried the caffeine will make you want to move your bowels, I live right across the street.
Oh, wow.
She says, that's very sweet, but I got to keep up the pace. He goes, all right, see you. Yeah, your opening gambit should probably not be, hey, I know this is going to make you shit, but I've got a toilet.
Yeah, that shouldn't be what
That's gonna be a tough one.
lead with.
Yeah.
That's a tough lead.
And then we come back out. All four of them are kind of watching the viewfinder on the VHS, and he goes, remember when you fell in love with that speed skater on the Wheaties box? Turns out she was real, too. Didn't make her your girlfriend. He goes, look, in a perfect world, we could both be married to Peggy, but this is reality, and I have to find someone here.
Why? That's
I
one
don't
thing I've
know.
never understood about their friendship is why in
don't
the
know.
hell he puts up with that.
I do not know.
I would not put up with none of that.
Yeah, I don't get that. So he starts walking off. He's got a camera. He's got a tripod, the whole thing. Like, he had a whole setup ready for this
he's ready
lady
to
as she
go.
jogged by him. Dale follows him and says, all right, I'll do it. Bill, I'm going to help you win her over. Here's a surefire way to sweep her off her feet. You will tend to her wounds. He goes, what wounds? She goes, the one she got from falling in the hole. He goes, what hole? The hole you dug in the alley. But I didn't dig a hole in the alley. Not yet. Oh, huh?
Yeah, now we're talking about criminal acts here.
Look, we dig a minefield of some 20-odd holes. She'll fall, twist her ankle, and you'll come to her rescue with a first aid kit of love.
Now not only are we talking about we're talking about
physical
assaults,
injury at
like,
this
like-
point.
like
Yeah, it could
assaulting
be considered
somebody's body.
assault. Yeah,
but we're
yeah.
also talking about like some municipal
And-
problems too.
And premeditated. Yeah.
Premeditated.
You would not think Hank would be up for this
I'm
because
pretty
you're digging holes
sure
in the friggin' cement.
that Dale and Bill couldn't afford the litigation from the municipality of Arlen.
No,
I don't think
not
that
at
they
all.
could handle.
I mean, that episode we
handle
did
that.
last night, Dale literally went in front of the city council and said, someone hates me. I mean, so there's no way
Yeah,
they're
there's no
affording the litigation that's going to come from this. Hank says, Bill, you got enough problems without this lady suing you. And here comes Boomhauer. Man, dig old cheap's hole, man. What you need is a good old rap, man. Talking about something like, yo, how you doing, baby? You know what I'm talking about? He's going to take tubes out of you. No, man. Oh, God, man, that dang old ball and chain. He sees the ice cream lady coming down the street.
Marlene, I think, right? No, this is Ice Cream Lady.
He
This is just
says,
her name.
man, come for me. Tell her like I moved Denver or something. And he goes behind the fence. Hank says, I'm not really much of a liar. She pulls up finally next to the guys. She goes, hey, do you know if Boomhauer's back from his safari yet? What a great lie. I'm going on a safari.
Well, it's even funnier, too, because if you, pulled down Boomhauer's pants, you would see those
tiger butts.
little tiger things, little Speedo.
Hank says to the ice cream lady, I don't know what you're talking about. He's, you see, and then Dale, he moved to Denver. There, Hank, is that so hard? She drives off. Bobby comes running out. Wait, come back. He's trying to chase down the ice cream lady. He runs down the street a little bit and finds Luann because, she's in the house now with the pool and all that stuff. She's laying out, getting some rays or whatever the kids call it these days. She's not coming back, honey. Of course she is. She's Mrs. Boomhauer's girlfriend, or she's Mr. Boomhauer's girlfriend. Let's see. How can I explain this? You know how you can be happy eating vanilla ice cream day after day after day? Well, Mr. Boomhauer isn't like that. He likes to try different flavors. He goes, but he can have a new flavor every day. He's dating the ice cream lady. I mean, Bobby's just not getting this. He goes, Mr. Boomhauer had grown-up sex with the ice cream lady, and now he's dumped her. You're never going to have ice cream again, Bobby. I mean, why is she so fatalistic about
That's
things?
terrible. Yeah, that's a rough one.
The one we did last night was Halloween, and she was like, oh, your dad's a Satanist. He goes, no, he's not. She goes, he is. She goes, oh, dang. Like, he was just instantly convinced.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hank's a Satanist. It's just insane.
It is insane.
All right, so we go forward a little bit. Now we got Dale and Bill out there, and it's nighttime, and they're digging holes in front of Bill in the alley.
This is
to make sure
awful,
this lady falls.
Awful stuff.
Dale says,
I got a
that's
funny story about somebody taking over a street and doing some kind of crazy stuff
Yeah.
like that. When I was in high school, I had a buddy whose dad was a contractor, and pretty much what he would do is he would build a big badass $500,000 to $750,000 home, like to sell, like to flip it. But he would build it and live in it. And while he was living in one, he would build another, and then he would move into that one.
Yeah.
And he had that whole thing going on.
A lot of builders do.
Yeah.
That.
Well, we were building a house in Chalk Bluff because he would put all his kids' friends to work and stuff like that, and he would pay us like
nothing.
No, he would pay us like ungodly amounts of money for nothing. He would pay us like really good for nothing. Like I was making like $500 or $600 a week sometimes with them, and I was just blowing insulation in the walls.
Yeah.
So, and that was in like the
but that's
the
still
2000s.
cheaper than hiring, on the outside. To
Yeah. I'm sure it is because he's just giving us cash and not having to pay all that all that legal stuff. But there was a lot of speeders on the road that we were working on. So he went and got a bunch of asphalt and made his own speed bump in the middle of the street.
Oh, yeah?
And people were and we were sitting like because it's a 2-story house and we're working on the second floor, so it's like lunchtime and people are like heavy traffic going through the neighborhood, people going home for lunch, and they would just I'm talking about almost lose the whole bottom into their car out from slamming it, and then eventually somebody complained to the city and they made him take it out. They didn't fine him or nothing. He managed to avoid any kind of like legal trouble from it. They just said, "Hey, dude, take this shit out.
Don't build your own speed
Don't do it
bumps."
again."
Dale says, this will be great. Nancy and I have been dying for another couple to hang out with. By the way, they're digging with a pitchfork or a pickaxe and a post hole digger. Nancy and I have been dying for another couple to hang out with. Bill says, what about Hank and Peggy? He goes, between you and me, I've run out of things to say to that woman. Hey, as far as like digging a hole in asphalt, so I used to own a little video store out in Robinson, Texas.
Yeah.
And my big flashing arrow sign that always had the names of the new shows or the new movies that were coming out. It kept being moved and I don't know, it was all messed up. And so I thought, well, let's just dig a hole and let's put a post in.
Yeah.
My dad and I, we stood out there probably, it had to be 6-8 hours digging in friggin' asphalt.
Yeah, asphalt's hard to dig in.
With a post hole digger.
I did plumbing for
post hole digger, man.
Is that what you were using?
Dude, that is one of the times I think
I should have rented a jackhammer.
I think I messed up my body. That is one of the first times that I really, really messed up my body.
It probably would. You probably should have just went to a rental company.
Oh, I should have.
And rented a.
Sure, I should have.
rented a pneumatic hammer.
But
I actually worked for a plumbing company when I was 18 for a little while.
Yeah.
And I got stuck with all the bullshit work.
Right.
I had my apprentice card, so I was doing like all the apprentice bullshit. So for 8 hours, for 3 days straight, I was on the back of a pneumatic hammer, a jackhammer, and we had to go through 8 feet of concrete to get to, because it was a loading dock area of one of these older buildings in town. So it was a loading dock area, and the plumbing for it, for some reason, is all the way underneath this loading dock.
Right.
So we had to drill all the way through the loading dock to get to like where we needed to be to fix whatever was broken.
Wow.
So
yeah, it sucks.
The loading dock, I don't even understand. I think what happened was the building was built and the loading dock was added later on because it didn't make any sense even to us. And they're like, yeah, well, the way the pipes and everything are, like it's all underneath. Like there's a bunch of it that's underneath here. Yeah. So for like 8 hours for 3 days straight, I had to just
it sucks. I'm going to go ahead and tell all of you out there, if you don't have to dig holes in asphalt, don't do it.
And if you do, go to an equipment rental and get a pneumatic hammer. It'll make it
The next
easier.
day, Bill comes out, and he's in his finest suit.
Yeah, he's suited up.
He has an entire, like, one of those roll-out first aid kits, where you roll it out, and it's got all the tools in it and stuff like that. And he's ready. And he's there as she comes along. She's jogging. She falls in a hole. He goes, oh, I'll help you, ma'am. And then he tries to go over to her. He falls in a hole.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm down. And then he gets up. My name is, and falls in another hole. Just tell me where it, boom, falls in another hole. Damn it. Boom, falls in another hole.
Which I never understood because he's the stupid ass that damn dug all these damn holes. How do you not know where you placed the hole?
He's more worried about her than he is anything else. And then you see Boomhauer. He hears this going on outside. He jumps out of his tanning bed in his tiger shorts, comes outside and says, "Here you go, man. Let's get you inside, man. Man, just go you keep your man because the elevator. I'm going to help you out." So Boomhauer actually picks her up and carries her in the house. Bill is down on the ground. And he's like, "Oh, no, please come back. No, wait." And then, of course, you hear Dido start that song. And then the other thing you get, and Bill knows when that song comes on, it's over, right?
Which
there is a train going through a tunnel somewhere.
Which that song made that woman a overnight sensation. Eminem made Dido an overnight sensation in America. She was a British singer. Mm-hmm. I remember my older sister. She's 6 years older than me, my oldest sister, and she's British.
She likes
so
the Dido.
Whenever I grew up in England, I got all of the Spice Girls and Dido.
Get all the spices.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing is when I got to America, there was no Spice Girls yet. They hadn't made it here yet. I got here before they did.
So Bill is still on the ground. He hears Dido playing in the distance. Car comes by, honks at him. He just kind of rolls out of the way and stays in the street. It's one of the saddest things that I've ever seen from Bill.
He got swooped in by a guy who does it often.
Yeah.
And not only that,
it's his MO.
Like,
yeah, it's just the way he works.
It's not like she was spoken for, and it's not like Bill had done anything productive, I guess, in the sense of
no, not necessarily, but
being
Bill,
normal.
But
trying
Bill
to
also
show
had
his
made
interest.
his intentions known to his friends, and so it's still shitty as far as I'm concerned.
Well, all
because
of the planned bullshit. If he would have just said, "Hey," and talked to her, just struck up like an organic conversation.
But see, they've been friends for 20, 30 years, right?
Yeah.
He knows exactly how Bill is. He just swooped in and found an eligible lady and took her inside.
That's all he did.
And that sucks because he knows Bill, and there's a million other fish in the sea kind of thing,
that
and
part
he could have just
suck.
left it alone.
As his friend, he should have left that alone. I agree with you.
Alone.
But as his friend,
Boomhauer,
I wouldn't have allowed him to dig holes in the street to try to break this woman's ankle to talk to her.
No, absolutely.
The extreme lengths that he went to try to talk to this woman at like, I wouldn't have felt bad, I guess.
Sure. But Bill's laying in the street.
I try not to have friends like Bill.
I get that. He's laying in the street. He gets beat the hell up. Cars are passing him by. That's the first commercial break. We'll take that, and
we'll be right back.
Right back.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
And we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers. True crime.
Rape.
Rapists. Why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, and we are back. We were just talking about the next couple of episodes are the ones in Japan.
The Junichiro.
Yeah, so we've got the penultimate and then the season finale. And we were talking about like bells and yells and maybe doing it all at one time and then splitting it up into 2 episodes or something like that. Y'all let us know if you have any thoughts on that. So we come back and Bill is there in front of the fence, and he's got the shit beat out of him. I mean, he's got holes and wounds and Band-Aids all over him, and his jacket's hanging on the fence, and it's all torn to shreds. Yeah. Dale comes up and goes, "Well, I see she's a bit of a hellcat. Scratched you up good." He goes, "After all I did for her, all these holes I dug, he comes in here and just dang old this and his dang old that, and he steals her away from me." He goes, "Hank? No, Boomhauer." He knew good and damn well he wasn't talking about Hank.
What do you mean, Hank? Yeah,
he goes, "All he's going to do is give her one night of marathon lovemaking, and I would have given her the same amount of love but stretched out over a lifetime." And then a cab pulls up.
Stretched out over a lot.
Yeah, cab pulls up. Boomhauer helps the jogging lady back outside. She looks at him first before they come out the door, and she goes, I usually run 5 miles every morning, but I think that counts. So I think we know what happened in there. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. And then he talks to the cabbie and goes, hey, man, dude, put on my dang old count, man. And then she takes off in the cab. Bill, of course, looks at him and says, how could you, Boomhauer? And he starts going towards him and, boom, falls in another hole. He goes, I love her, but to you, she's just another notch in your belt. Boomhauer, yeah, I tell you what, man, dug your own grave and started digging in old potholes, man. Hank comes outside because they're getting a little loud, and I've never heard Hank say this, but he goes, fellas, Bobby's trying to nap. When the hell does Bobby nap?
I don't know, but I think that's hilarious that Bobby's like
Bobby's
12 years
trying to
old,
nap.
and he's like, Bobby's trying to nap. Y'all
Bobby's
keep
trying
it
to
down.
nap. He goes, Bill says, this stupid jerk stole my woman. I have never done that to you. He goes, dang it, Boomhauer. Now we'll never hear the end of this. He goes, no, you will not hear the end of this. And he just kind of storms off. Later, we've got Dale and Bill fixing the holes while Boomhauer and Hank standing there watching them. And Hank says, hey, Boomhauer, here comes that lady jogger. He goes, oh, dang, man, oh, Denver. And he dips behind the fence, right? She drives up, and she's driving this beautiful little Jaguar. And Dale's like, ooh, a Jaguar. Boomhauer pops up from behind the fence once he sees there's a Jaguar, and he's like, man, talking about dang old sweet ride, man. You got fully synchronized 4-speed with cast housing, dang old diaphragm clutch, man. And he gets in the car with her.
Rides off.
Bill comes up, and he says, I'm Bill Dotrieve, and I'd be honored if I could have some of your hair for my collection.
Yeah, see, like, I can't even be mad at Boomhauer for
Some of your
swiping the girl
hair.
from him. That's weird as hell.
Thanks.
How do you walk up on somebody and say, can I have hair for my collection?
Well, he said it so happily, too. I'm Bill Dotrieve, and I'd be honored if I could have some of your hair for my collection.
Hair. Give me a lock of
Hank's
your
like,
hair.
what are you doing? He goes, I'm flirting. He's like whispering to him, I'm flirting. The lady says, I didn't know you like classic cars. Then again, the only thing I did know about you is that you're ticklish. He goes, I'll tell you what, man, why don't we go back to your place? You're going to make me laugh. And she literally just pulls like 2 feet right into his driveway.
Yeah.
Dale, go, Boomhauer. Sorry, Bill, but I got to back a winner.
This part's hilarious right here. I love it.
Bill is out there, and he goes, oh, please don't put on Dido. Please don't put on Dido. And then you hear, ba, 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 da, ba, da, ba. He goes, oh, Dido. Okay, so now we're in the living room with
That's actually a catchy song.
yeah, it is.
I
very
really
much
like the
so.
melody. It's
with
really catchy
Peggy and
melody.
Bobby, and Peggy's talking to Bobby, and she goes, and then I said, I know you. You're the weatherman from Channel 7, right? And he says, no, I'm not. And then I said, what are you talking about? Of course it's you. You are that guy. And he goes, no, I'm not. And you know what? It wasn't. And then in comes, what a great story.
Yeah.
Hank comes
Riveting.
in.
Yeah.
It just like such a placeholder of a story. And you know what? It wasn't. Hank comes in, and she goes, Hank, why aren't you in the alley? Is it raining? Oh, speaking of rain, I ran into this guy today. And Bobby's like, oh, I can't listen to this story again. He goes, I got to walk 8 blocks to Carter's Market now and get my ice cream. Why am I in the middle of this? And like leaves the room. Bobby is so good at like drop a joke, leave. Drop a joke, leave. They use him very, very well for that. Hank says, bet Bobby wishes Boomhauer dumped the asparagus lady. Kind of looks at Peggy, and she just gives him this stone cold look. He goes, there's not really an asparagus lady, Peggy. It's funny. She goes, oh, okay. So you think Boomhauer's promiscuity is amusing? He goes, not really. Not really. So what then? Does his stories entertain you? Do hearing about his bedroom antics excite you? Is that how you get your freak on? He goes,
asparagus grows so slow you can almost watch it grow.
Asparagus
or fast,
lady.
sorry. It
Really?
grows so fast that you can almost watch it grow.
wow.
Yeah, you could go out and cut it, and then the next day, it's like almost to the same spot where you cut it at.
I just
It
love
grows
the
really
fact
fast.
that Peggy thinks that Hank gets his freak on. That's my favorite part of this.
Hank
He goes,
gets his
my
freak
what?
on.
No, I love you. She goes, I'll leave you alone with your dirty thoughts. And she just walks. I've never seen her make Hank feel so bad for something he wasn't even a part of.
No, yeah, he has. Yes, she has. We just covered that episode.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
She I guess she thought he was getting his freak on with the
Freak
barbecue
on.
thing. The Char King Imperial.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'll
our
before we leave, I'll show you our new sponsor
poster,
poster back
which
there.
might
It's
be
very
available.
nice.
Yeah.
Now we're at Sugarfoot's Boomhauer and the jogger lady, whatever her name is, they are sitting down and eating. She's eating some ribs, and she goes, he says, yeah, the minute I turned 18, man, little mama said, yeah, you get on to getting electrical engineering, Boomhauer, that dang gonna make me proud, but I just don't do it, man. She goes, oh, thank goodness. Engineers are way too uptight. You want to do some shots? And then he's got barbecue sauce on his finger. She sees it. She grabs his finger and sucks it off. And so he just looks at her and dips his whole hand in the barbecue sauce. And so you know something's fixing to happen, right?
Something.
The next scene we see is they're getting out of her Jaguar in front of her mansion. I mean, it's a big old house.
She's got a big house.
He goes, oh, dang. And the next thing we see is the next morning, he's waking up. She's already dressed. She's leaving. I don't know what she does, but she's some high-powered something. She goes, there's OJ in the fridge. Make yourself a little something to eat. Take a swim.
She's a high-powered Washington lawyer. Peddling influence.
Peddling influence. She says, just do me a favor. Press activate to set the alarm on your way out, okay? Bye. And she just leaves. So he just starts kind of looking around the house and stuff. He sees pictures, sees one of her and a horse when she was little. He's like, dang old I love that. Dang old all.
Dang old all.
He picks up the phone. He calls.
He's falling in love.
He calls Hank, and he goes, Hank, man, hey, man, it's me, man. Dang old Boomhauer, man. Like Hank doesn't know who it is. I mean, I would say Boomhauer's voice is pretty damn identifiable. But the next thing we know, everybody's over at this lady's house. So
it's become a spectacle.
Hank, Boomhauer, and Dale are all in the pool, and Hank has a little remote, and he lights the grill from inside the swimming pool while he's holding the remote. He goes, I just turned on the backyard grill from the swimming pool, and Peggy said man would never be able to do that. When did that conversation come up? How does that work?
I don't know how that works.
Dale
that's
says,
pretty funny, though.
Dale says, Boomhauer, this is the coolest fling you've ever had. Boomhauer's like, oh, yeah, man, dang old cool fling, man. Then you see Bill walk up. He still got on all his clothes, his stained wife beater T-shirt. He goes, boom. He goes, I was using the master bedroom, which, by the way, I should have been master of, and I found this. And he holds up these pink panties, right, like a thong. Boomhauer's like, hey, man, put them down dang back. He goes, for a rich woman, she buys pretty flimsy underwear. Where's her ass supposed to go? And then Boomhauer pushes him into the pool. He's like, whoa, and he splashes around a little bit, and then he gets out, and he goes, this is a digital watch. I could have been electrocuted. I'm never talking to you again.
That's funny.
Digital watch. He goes, yeah, I tell you what, man, good old riddance, man. Hank says, you're not normally so touchy about your girlfriend's unmentionables.
Artie mentions a good point. I'm not sure why Bill was even invited.
Why
the fuck is
I don't
Bill
know
there?
either.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of wild that he's even there.
He goes, you getting serious about this gal? He goes, oh, man, what are you? And she comes home. She comes out there, and she's like, what are you guys doing here? He goes, oh, man, I'm sorry, baby. I just, hot day, I thought maybe I'd invite a couple of my friends over, man. It's my bad. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. So Dale and Hank leave pretty quickly. Dale says, I'm not leaving without my urine. I left it sitting in the toilet. He shuts the door on him anyway, shoves him out the door. Then we see her in the kitchen. She's making a cocktail because we hear the ice dinking around and stuff. And he goes, oh, thank you, baby. Why don't you go ahead and make yourself one too? Like, he's assuming a lot here. He's
assuming way too much.
As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, not only is he assuming that she's making that for him, but he is to the point where he is like, oh, yeah, these women just all want me, and that's a given. I'm just going to go ahead and give in to this one. That's kind of his take on this, and that's I think what ends up biting him in the ass here. She goes,
it's kind of funny to see him. I guess we could use the word simping over a woman.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because usually women fawn all over him.
Mm-hmm. He goes, why don't you make yourself one too? She goes, I'm sorry. Did you forget something? He goes, oh, man, I'm sorry. You go ahead. You go ahead and unwind, man. I'm sorry. You got my digit. You just go ahead and call me. And so he leaves. Now we're out in the alley with Hank, Dale, and Boomhauer. And the birds are chirping and all this stuff. And Hank's talking. And I'm assuming this is either later in the day or it's the next day. Hank says, I saw this news promo last night. It said something's going on in restaurant kitchens that might really surprise us, but then I fell asleep. Boomhauer, you stay up late. Are rude customers really getting more than they bargained for? It's just such a...
That's funny.
Hank. He's just watching his phone. Boomhauer's just watching that phone, wanting it to ring. Ring, man. Come on, baby. Please, man. Don't you're talking about it in 2 days, man. I don't feel like dang old lifetime, man. I remember when I fell in love with Peggy. I'll never forget that first handshake. I wanted it to last forever. He goes, love, man. What is it, man? He's talking about a pit of my stomach, man. I don't even know where I'm coming or going. I got to get on my mind, man. Love me. You see him driving. He's in his, what does he drive? Is it a Challenger or a?
I thought it was a Dodge Dart.
It's not a Dart because it's bigger than a Dart. It's either a Challenger or whatever the other one is. But he drives up to this house.
Oh, a Charger?
Yeah, it's a Charger or a Challenger, one or the other. I bet it's a Charger.
Or a Ford Gran Torino? No.
He drives up, and he drives up to this older house. He rings the doorbell, and this old lady comes to the door, and he goes, hey, dang old Meemaw. She pinches his cheek, and then she's blah, 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 and you can't understand anything she's saying. He goes, what, Meemaw? I didn't. And then she gets a cup, puts her teeth in, and finally she's a little old Boomhauer, come on, this ain't you too long. And they both go in. He goes, now, Meemaw, family matriarch, what the time I'm going to ask you for a dang old ring. Oh, Boomhauer, you talking about? I thought you would buried the dang old thing. You little old wow. And so he went over to get the ring from his Meemaw. He drives up to Jogger Lady's mansion, and he rings the doorbell. She opens the door. She's already in She's already in her a robe, like a silk robe. As she's walking up to the door, she's like, all right, it's a pizza, not a kidney. She opens the door and she goes, Boomhauser. Like, she doesn't even know his friggin' name.
She don't even know his actual name.
Boomhauser.
Boomhauser.
And you were right, it is Marlene. He gets down on one knee and goes, Marlene, dang old, I can't stand be part, you know, man, I don't talk about dang old ring, just beginning, no end, man. She goes, okay, all right. I'm going to be honest with you. I can only understand about half of what you say. The other times I just nod and smile and wait for your pants to come off. He says, well, I'm talking about Marlene, dang old, won't you marry me? She goes, whoa, I understood that. And then this other guy walks up from behind her, hugs her, and starts biting her on the ear and stuff. And he's like, I see the pizza guy, but I don't see any pizza. She's like, hee. She's just laughing.
Already said it's a 1971 Dodge Coronet Super B.
It's a Coronet Super B. Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes more sense.
I know it wasn't as big as like a Challenger because Coronets are kind of smaller, aren't they?
I mean, it's a two-door. But it's not. But it's still extended.
Okay.
Yeah. If I remember, well, I'm going from the cartoon, but it's still about as big as a Challenger or a Charger.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, but the Super B part means it's got a big old engine in it. So he's like, oh yeah, it's cool, baby. Plenty of dang old fish in the sea, man. And he drives off, and there's where you have Hart with Barracuda. Playing on his radio. He kind of screeches out, and he's like, oh, dang old, and he just starts sobbing.
Yeah, he starts
sobbing.
crying.
And that's our second commercial break. We'll take that. We'll find out how to fix Boomhauer's broken heart, and we will be
right back.
Snack Attack is a podcast about the history of your favorite snacks, candies, and treats. Each 5-minute or less episode features the history of a great snack from around the world. We'll also visit what the status of the snack is today and give you a little knowledge to lord over your friend. Snack Attack is available anywhere you get your podcast or at roguemedianetwork.com. Let's get snacking!
Step into the unexpected with Cultastic, or How to Start a Cult Without Really Trying. A podcast where cult creation unfolds in the most unpredictable way. Join us on a unique journey into the world of theoretical cult formation. Unlike any other podcast, each episode of Cultastic is co-written in part using ChatGPT, and we let it decide our fate, good or bad. What makes Cultastic truly intriguing? We don't know what's coming each week. Together with our AI co-author, we'll discover and build this cult, one episode at a time, exploring various aspects of cult dynamics, leadership, and group psychology. Delve into themes of charisma, influence, and the power of group thinking. It's a blend of expert analysis, theoretical exploration, and the unforeseen twists of AI-generated ideas. Remember, Cultastic is an exercise in imagination and education where we weave a narrative one episode and one tenant at a time. Curious about where this journey will take us? Subscribe to Cultastic or How to Start a Cult without really trying on your favorite podcast platform or at roguemedianetwork.com. Let's build this mission to save the people of Earth, week by unpredictable week.
Hey, how you doing?
How
Glad you're
y'all
back.
doing out there?
We're just talking about the animation style for King of the Hill, and the more I watch it, the more I can see where the Daria animation and stuff came from. Except Daria was a little thicker lines and stuff, but definitely the same kind of stuff. All right, so now we're in the alley. Boomhauer's in his robe, and he is looking rough. We hear, yep. Oh, dango, come on, Marley, man. Come on, dango, talking about Diamond Man barbecue sauce. He's on the phone, and then what you hear on the other end of the phone is just people laughing.
Just people laugh. It's like a laugh track, yeah.
And Bill says, yep, I know that sound. She's got you on the office speakerphone. You're a loser, and does a big L on his head and just starts laughing at him. Boomhauer's just sobbing.
Leave your buddy alone. You can't do that to your friend, man.
Hank says, come on, Boomhauer. You're still the same old tomcat you always were. Hey, tell us that story about the girl from the Radio Shack. You know, I was buying batteries. He goes, yeah, okay. And, I mean, he's got stubble. He looks rough, man.
He does look rough.
And
That's the roughest that Boomhauer's actually
pretty
ever
rough.
looked.
Yeah, he goes, well, you know, my dang old Electro, Norelco died. I went out and give me some triple OAs, you know, and I got to, oh, God, Marlene. He just starts breaking down crying, you know, and Bill.
Is that a shaver?
Huh?
Norelco? Isn't that like a shaver? Yeah.
Bill looks at it and goes, boo-hoo-hoom, Howard. I mean,
Bill's
that's
a bitch.
rough
Yeah,
for
Bill's
Bill.
an actual bitch for this.
He goes, I bet now you wish you'd only slept with 100 ladies instead of 101. Now you know how they all felt, except for that one you did it to. So now we're inside the Hill house. It's Dale. This is an odd threesome. You never really see these three together.
No, you don't.
Dale, Peggy, and Hank.
Which is an odd, it's an odd thrupplet.
Dale's got his chair turned around backwards like a youth pastor, but he's still smoking in their house, which I can't imagine Peggy allows. But
well, they used to smoke.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So their house might still have some residual stink.
I can't imagine that. I bet Hank got rid of everything that was yellow and got rid of that entire smell.
When you smoked, did
There's
you smoke
no way.
inside or did you smoke outside?
Yeah, I did, but then I went outside. Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Peggy says, Bill is picking on Boomhauer? He hadn't done that since he had hair. Dale says, we got to do something. The alley was balanced before. Cool single guy, cool married guy, loser single guy, loser married guy. Now it's me and three losers. Hank says, Dale, go out and go sign out with Nancy. We're going tomcatting, and I'm going to need a wingman. He straightens his hat. He leaves. Peggy goes, wait, if you think for 1 second that I'm going to stand by while you go on a floozy hunt for Boomhauer, why? He goes, Peggy, you want another bill on your hands? She goes, take my card. It's chick magnet. Like, he's just like, I mean, that doesn't take but a second to hit her.
Nobody wants another bill in the neighborhood.
All right, so all three are in Peggy's car now. Boomhauer's in the back. He's hanging his head. He's looking rough. He goes, Boomhauer, where'd all the girls hang out? Nursing school, magic store. Magic store, Hank? Is that even a thing? Girls all hanging out at the magic store.
All the girls down there.
He's just in the back crying.
Yeah.
They stop at a crossing guard. These kids are crossing by, and he goes, hey, there's a woman. Just, I guess any woman will do at this point. Any woman.
Any woman.
Any available woman. He goes, all right, do that thing where you compliment them, and then they come home with you. Like, it's very easy, Dale. They get him out. They're spraying cologne on him. They're straightening him up. Hank has another piece of advice. Yeah. I once told Peggy her hair looked nice. She still mentions it. They get in the car and they watch, and then Boomhauer's over there talking to the crossing guard. She's hugging him. Look at him go, Hank. Don't look at me. Look at them. Hank says, oh, he's bringing her back. He goes, pretend you're asleep so they can make out. She brings him over and starts putting him in the car, and both of them are just like they're asleep or whatever at the crossing. Like they just fell asleep right there in the middle of the street. She puts him in the back of the car, and she goes, you guys should get this poor fella back to bed after what that cold-blooded witch did. Oh, turning down his grandma's ring. And then they all drive off. And we see them kind of helping Boomhauer back into his house. And the one thing that happens, though, is they take him inside the house, and then Bill's just kind of standing there watching.
Yeah,
right? He wasn't part of all this stuff, and he's just kind of standing there watching.
This is like the warm-up for the monologue here.
We're getting there. Yeah. And so they put him in bed. He's just, oh, man, he's still crying and all that. He goes, there. And then you hear these footsteps approaching. Bill busts in. He goes, amateurs. And he grabs Boomhauer and carries him out, just like he did with the woman jogger. Hank says, oh, thank God we're married. Dale's like, yeah, it's a rough one out there. Next thing we see is Bill and Boomhauer on the trunk of the car, and they're on like this overlook place, where you can see all of Arlen or whatever. It's kind of night.
Kind of like our Lover's Leap
thing.
It's
like a Lover's Leap or something.
But Lover's Leap it's kind of like, to me it reminds me of Pride Rock on Lion King.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, over here's
but it's in
where all the light shows, and then you look over to Belmead, and that is where you shall not go, son. Yeah.
So Bill is trying to take care of Boomhauer now. And this is the speech I was talking about at the beginning. I know how dark it is for you right now, curled up, laying in your own emotional vomit. You're in hell now, Boomhauer. The only way out is through a long, dark tunnel. You're afraid to go in because there's a train coming at you carrying a boxcar full of heartbreak. Well, let me tell you something. All you can do is let it hit you and then try to find your legs. I know. I've taken that hit more times than I can remember. Look at me, Boomhauer. I'm fat. I'm old. And every day I'm just going to wake up fatter and older. But somehow I managed to drag this fat old bald bastard out in the alley every day. I'm out there digging holes, falling into them, climbing out, trying again. And tomorrow I'm going to go hang outside a ladies' prison. And the first thing those lady cons are going to see after 20 years is me.
Oh, shit.
Will I get one? Experience says no. Will I be out there next month? If I'm alive, you better believe it. You got to get right back up on that tanning bed, slip on a tighter T-shirt, wash off some of that cologne, and get yourself out of that tunnel into some strange woman's bed. I mean, that is the most encouraging thing I've ever heard Bill say to anybody about anything.
That's that drill sergeant.
He's and this finally kicks it in for Boomhauer. He's like, hell yeah, man. He's like, yeah, dang right, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get out there, boy. Yeah. And I mean, they are chest bumping. They're opening beers, spraying each other with them. They are ready to go. Next thing we see, Boomhauer's coming out of his house. He's getting into his car. The other three guys are across the street watching him. Dale says he's going to make some lucky lady very happy, then very, very sad. Hank says, what do you got, Boomhauer? A hot date with that attractive garbage lady? He goes, no, man, I ain't ready to get back on down horse yet, man. I got a little old business I got to first. So he drives off. We see him come up to a house. He knocks on the door. The ice cream lady comes to the door. She's like, Boomhauer? No, I thought I'd never see you again. He goes, yeah, listen, man, I just want to talk about I done went all walked a mile in your shoes, man. I felt that old big hurt, I just want to tell you, man, well, I'm sorry. And how about you and I just dang old, be friends. And they shake hands. So, I mean, it did at least teach Boomhauer a lesson, right? And so he's got a little of that going on. Next thing we see is Bill standing outside of the Women's Correctional Center as the alarm goes off, the gate opens, and he goes, welcome back to society. May I offer you a ride home? And the biggest, butchest woman you've ever seen comes over and says, yeah, give me the keys. I'm driving. He goes, so what are you in for? Killed my boyfriend. He goes, does that mean you're single? And then we get the credits. The one thing I did want to say is this voice of this big butch woman coming out of the prison sounds exactly like Sling Blade.
Yeah, it does.
And the funny thing is, later on, we'll get to Tom Petty, that was Dwight Yoakam. Never mind. He's not a tie at all.
It was Dwight Yoakam.
But, I'm driving. Killed my boyfriend. I mean, it sounded exactly like that. We get the credits, and then after that, we hear, pretend you're asleep so they can make out. And that is it, guys. We have gotten through Season 6, Episode 26, ABE 17, Dang Old Love. originally aired May 5th, 2000.
Dose.
All
That's
right.
actually, hold on, I had the episode number. That's actually episode 124.
124.
There's our
did it.
124th episode of King of the Hill.
Okay, so let me show y'all something real quick. Rusty, I'm going to take you off just for a second. I
Yeah,
just
no
wanted to see
worries.
this. I don't know if you can see this back here, but this is a Wagner Char King Imperial poster where flavor reigns supreme. Came straight from the floor of Strickland Propane, where you can taste the meat and not the heat. I was pretty darn proud of that poster. I like it a lot. That will now be part of our regular gear. Rusty, you want to tell people where they can find us for more of this nonsense?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us at BWAAAKOTH on all social media platforms. You can go to youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH. If you love talking propane, lawn care, and life lessons, make sure you smash that like button and follow us on all of our social media accounts. Also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single dang episode. There you go.
Smash that button
Yeah,
hard.
do all that stuff.
All right, we will be back again. The live show that we did last night, we will package that sucker up. Probably be a bonus of some kind or something. We'll play it before Halloween because it is Halloween, and you guys will get to see all the fancy costumes we had. Guys, we can't thank you enough for being here. We really appreciate it. Remember, there is a Patreon out there. If you wanted to go try to do that, it's $3 a month. It just helps kind of keep the lights on, TV on. Helps us print Wagner posters. And I guess there's really just one more thing to say.
Oui, Matanye.
I agree, and oui, Matanye indeed. We'll see. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.